Hey, glad you guys could join us again, and welcome to Door Talk.
Hey guys, welcome back to Door Talk. I'm Austin Watson, and we have Dave Schafer with us again with IDenticard. So we're excited to have him with us, and we're going to actually be talking about access control systems that IDenticard offers and what makes them different, and just what it is. So Dave, what can you tell us about y'all's access control?
Well, our access control platform is called Premises, the name of the software package. And what IDenticard uses is most access systems, they have their access software and it talks to an appliance or a controller, something in the field at the building that the readers communicate back to, in simple terms.
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody has their own little nuances on that.
Yeah.
IDenticard and Premises, what we have decided to do is we went and we used the Mercury appliance or hardware platform. The reason we did that is that's as open platform as you can get.
Yeah.
So that the customer does not have proprietary hardware should they want to make any kind of adjustments or changes in the future. We've gone in and been able to put our software in with people that had Mercury hardware that ended up not happy with some aspect of their system or their provider.
In which Mercury hardware covers a wide variety of different access control systems. So Mercury is a pretty standard platform for access control.
I would say it's probably the most spec'd or specified piece of appliance or hardware in the industry today.
Yeah. So what makes Premises different than most of your other access control systems? I know you're server client based.
Yes.
Right now.
Correct.
So what makes it a system that you feel is different than most that's out there?
Well, it is a client server based application. Plus we have our new browser client that customers will be interested in seeing that might not be familiar with that aspect if they're familiar with what we've done to date.
Wow,
so
okay.
That adds some nuances and abilities for the customer. But what makes access control is basically you present a card, it opens a door. So what makes companies different, okay? I think the open platform aspect that IDenticard brings to the table is important, so the customers don't get locked into anything proprietary.
Yeah.
So as we talked about the hardware, we also do the same thing with readers. There are a number of different reader options that are out there.
Yeah.
Historically, we've done a ton of barcode readers in the past.
Wow, okay.
Because they had used it for their time and attendance. Mag Stripe, used to be. They're still out there, not as much.
Yeah.
But then you get into the contactless readers, or proximity, sometimes people call it, that your HIDs, your Allegiance, your Farpoints, you name it. We're open that we, again, help the integrator and the customer select that reader that's best suited for their needs.
Yeah.
It might be a mullion reader that needs a keypad, leads you a certain direction. So we don't lock you in with our own proprietary type of piece.
Yeah, so you're able to use a wide variety of different readers on your system.
Exactly. Or sometimes people have existing systems. They might have a legacy system that's old, doesn't have the right operating system. They want to upgrade. We're able to move in and provide the software package, many times use all their existing door hardware, card readers, credentials, and just change out that head end and kind of upgrade their system that way.
Wow. Now, also, Premises has a very useful function that I've seen is the mobile application that you can use with Premises.
Okay.
From what I've seen, in my opinion, it's one of the best mobile applications for an access control system I've seen. So, can you talk on that a little bit?
Yeah, what that allows the customer to be able to do is, let's take, for example, a facility manager or resource officer or just any staff member that might manage the system,
Yeah.
be it the badging aspect of it or the access control. It allows you to use your iPhone, iPad, or Android device, and it has our Premises app on it. So that customer or that staff person that has the ability can have that app, and they can go around and they could open a door for somebody, buzz somebody in, lock or unlock a door, do a full exterior door lockdown right from their phone, should that be needed. The mobile app also does not only that access control functionality, but it can also do the badging side that we've talked about. And that is, you can take that photo of a doctor, employee, what have you, without having them to come down to the badging office, and it drops immediately into our database from that iPhone, and you can activate, deactivate that cardholder's ability, change what doors they can go in and out of. If they now have access to the maintenance closet or the IT area, that person you could give them that access right from your device.
And now, when you were talking about the lockdown function of that mobile application, that's a huge function to have in places like schools or even hospitals, to be able to give your teachers the ability to say, they can use their mobile device to actually, if a lockdown feature ever needs to happen. So is that something that that can be divvied out to different, like let's say you have a school with multiple teachers in it. Can each one of those teachers have that on their phone?
Yeah, you can. The administrator of the system can choose who has that capability. Most time it's more in a school environment, principals, resource officers, etc. But you can control that type of lockdown function from the software, just accessing it from PC, and to do locks and unlocks and lockdowns. You also have that ability from the phone, and all of the rights are set up within premises by the administrator. What you can do on the system, what I can do on the system,
Gotcha.
what functions and features I have access to, what hardware or doors I have the ability to see or do things. So it's all filterable on the back end for the person that accesses the system.
And premises has the full capability of being able to pull very detailed reports and stuff as well.
Correct. That's probably one of the 2 or 3 main functions of the access system on the back end is the reporting capability. I would say the 2 most commonly used reports are, I want to bring up a particular card holder, and I want to run a report on your card activity. So I could pull up Austin's card in the system and select a date range over the last weekend, the last week, the last month, and look at all of that activity. The other one is generally at a particular door group. I want to see, the customer wants to see everybody that had access to the IT room, the computer room over the weekend. Maybe something was missing. You go to that, you run the report, and you see all the activity over a given time frame.
And that leads us into, with being able to see those things, also you guys have camera integration as well.
Correct. What we have is on the system, you have the ability to put, we call it active map. So you could put a map of your city, your town, your complex, or just your building onto the screen, and then place the doors where you have readers onto that screen. So someone monitoring the systems can simply click on that door, unlock it, let the UPS guy in, what have you, from the screen, and just like you could from the mobile app. But then also with that screen, we have the ability to do the video integration. So we integrate with a dozen of the major video integration companies. We decided to not reinvent the wheel because people either have one or they like their favorite. So we allow them, and then they might change it. So we have an integration that it's a plug-in, basically, we call it. So all of that recording, simply we pull from that server and can place on our screen. So say that map next to their back loading dock door, you can place that camera that's being recorded by one of the VMS systems, click on that camera and see that live video on our screen, and then you can decide, say, to let that person in.
So with your camera integration for you guys, there's no extra hardware. There's a plug-in like you were talking about, but there's no actual, you don't have to change out the NVR or anything like that. You can use all your existing hardware as long as it's one of these integrators and just be able to push that back into your access control system with that plug-in add.
Correct. We add no additional hardware. We're essentially attaching to that video server and pulling that information. So in the area of video, that's important because it's not like we are then recording all that video again. So there's none of that extra storage that's needed as you need with, depending on how much video you're storing from that side.
Now,
all we're doing is viewing.
Does this give you the integration to be able to say, like when you're pulling your report, to say, okay, if I can view it at this time, you can see when that person badged in as well at that time on your video integration?
Right, answer that two ways. One, you can look if you're monitoring the system and you're watching transactions on the screen, you can click on a transaction and then you can see the camera pull up of Dave Schafer swiping my card going through that door.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then with our recording, these VMSs are generally recording either all the time or on motion, but on alerts, door force, door jar, they're going to be recording that. So on those alarm events that pop up on the access system, say on a door forced, the camera system will pop up on our screen and show the live camera at that door event, and then right next to it is going to show the recorded event, the pre and post of that alarm at the same time.
So that's huge for places like colleges or hospitals that have security that or police that are monitoring in a central location. So when that pops up, it's right there. They can see what's going on.
Correct. So that's for your live video, and then so as you're monitoring the system ongoing. If you have a need to go back after the fact, within premises, just like that reporting capability we talked about a minute ago, it also has the ability to run some reports on that alarm activity. Okay?
Yeah.
So I can run a report on door forced activity that we just talked about. And let's say there's maybe 6 events.
Yeah.
There's going to be a link within our report that you click on it, and that hyperlink would then take you to the section of the VMS system of that event.
Wow.
So it'll go
great.
there and pull that event based on a report with the data that's in the access system.
So if you want to make your life easier, this would be the way to go.
It's all options. It's one of those things that somebody doesn't need every single bit of our functionality.
Yeah.
A lot of it is built in as standard fare,
Yeah.
mapping and et cetera. But if they want some video integration, they want some photo ID capability, it's all there. And again, that's that scalable approach that kind of, I think, makes us unique in that environment.
And speaking of scalability, you guys have a Premises LT, Premises, and a Premises Pro as well, which I think makes you guys unique in yourself to be able to have something like this. So, so what does that tell?
The
What does that
difference,
tell?
yeah. Basically, it's 3 levels of Premises. It's essentially the same package, the same software. So it just allows people to scale depending on the size and need of a customer. You might have someone that has 4, 6, 8 doors, and they just want to do and use a key fob or something. We can go with our Premises LT because it uses all the same hardware, same functionality, the same capabilities that we talked about, but it's built and priced for that size application.
Wow.
Whereas someone with a larger company, they need Premises, which can go up to 40 doors, for example. And then you have Premises Pro, which is 1 to unlimited. So it's scalable. And the beauty of how we've done it is that you also have the ability that if you happen to move from one level, you start out with 6 doors, and you want to go to 20 and add photo ID, you don't load it, it's no new software, anything else, it's just a license key, and suddenly, boom, you have that, it's 2 minutes to do the license key upgrade, and now you have that functionality.
So Premises is good from the 1-door system all the way to the 100+ systems, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. We do a couple of school systems that have 11, 12, 1,300 readers.
Wow.
We do large medical center in New York City that has several thousand doors on it.
Yeah.
And you also have people that distribution center that maybe has half a dozen doors. So scalable.
Well, Dave, I really appreciate your time today. That was a lot of really good information for the IDenticard Access Control for Premises and everything. It's the system itself sounds amazing, and glad to have you here to be able to tell us about it. So
Appreciate it. No, I'm glad to talk to you or any of your customers at any time.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us again on Door Talk today. We're going to have one more episode after this, and excited to be able to talk about the next episode, but we're going to keep that a surprise, so tune in with us next time, and have a good day.